Hey guys, welcome to this episode of What the Fuck America. I'm your host, Mr. Mikey V, and I'm here again with your boy Rob. What up, Rob? How you doing?
What up, nation? How y'all doing on What the Fuck
Hell yeah,
America?
What the Fuck America. Sarah Love, are you in the house today?
I'm here. Hey guys.
What up?
Hey, real quick before you pop out, I just want to send a special thanks to you. You know, guys, Sarah Love here is also a baker. She knows how to bake things. So
Sometimes.
she baked me this awesome apple walnut bread. Look at that.
That's
I'm
not even the
jealous,
star
dude.
of
I'm
the show.
sitting
Look at
here without no damn bread.
Right. And
Where my bread at, Sarah?
apple butter.
Apple butter.
Can't forget the apple butter.
That's where it's at.
Y'all
So
know
I'm
I'm
definitely
hungry
gonna
as
eat
hell
some of
right
that.
now.
Definitely gonna eat
I
some
got the
of that later.
munchies, and Sarah didn't send me no bread. What's up with all that?
I just made it last night.
Yeah, it's fresh, man. We're gonna have to, right? It's the fall season. We got to start
Yeah, it's
baking.
baking time, man. I spent my whole day baking yesterday. I'm about to spend more time baking today.
Right?
I'm
It's
excited.
that time,
I need
man.
fall food, man.
That's awesome.
But well, good to see you. I'm glad you guys are here today. How was your guys' week? How's everything going, man? Did you have anything special happen this week, Rob? Anything crazy go down?
Not too much, man. Same old. Living life, trying to survive. That's
Right.
about all you can do in this world now.
Right. So yeah, man, we got a good show for you guys today. It's conspiracy theories. We're gonna do conspiracy theories today, which is a good one because Revelation Rob here, he's all about
My favorite
that, man.
topic.
That's his favorite
Yeah,
topic.
my
Bro.
favorite topic.
You've spent hours and hours and hours and hours probably on the internet just surfing all this crazy stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, a lot of it comes to my feed. A lot of it's BS, but some of it, it makes you wonder. It gets you thinking. Simulation theory. I haven't seen a lot of stuff on the web lately about simulation theory, but when it first came out, like last year, I want to say, or maybe 2 years ago, it was booming. Like it was a hot topic. And then all of a sudden, I want to say that YouTube kind of censored it.
Well,
because I don't see it
first
popping.
off, what is simulation theory? What is that about? I haven't heard that one.
Well, simulation
theory. Let's put the U where it belongs. Simulation theory. Both of you are saying simulation.
Well, we from the hood, dude. We say we got that little ebonics on it.
I failed English class.
Simulation theory.
And language arts.
Simulation theory.
Yes.
Is what the hell is simulation? Simulation theory is where actually your scientists like Elon Musk and this other dude, I can't remember his name. It's a black guy, but he's like very well known in the science world. He's like actually the black Einstein. He got his hair like Einstein too. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen him, but I think his name is like something Phillips or something. I can't remember. We'll have to find him and pop a picture up on him, but he does look like the black Einstein. But either way, they both have came to conclusions that we are living in some sort of simulation, not base reality. And what that means is like if you look at
like a video game or something.
Yeah, like a video game, exactly. And if you start tying everything together, it kind of really, I mean, I'm on the verge of like, yo, I really think that we do live in some sort of simulation for the simple fact that the games that we build today, that we got today, are getting so much closer to reality. Like they look real. Okay, right. So let's just say in 50 to 100 years, man, we're already on top of virtual reality. So in 50 to 100 years, we're going to be inserting ourselves inside of these games. Okay, so who's
you
to
already
say
do with virtual reality, don't we? I mean, basically,
sort of, but it's not like it's going to get more advanced to where you're going to be able to feel things inside of the game. Okay, you're going to be like a sim, like you heard of the game Sims, where somebody controls what the little person's doing inside the game. Well, we're going to actually be able to insert ourselves into these games and actually have that experience. And the world that we're going to have is going to be, we're only going to know the world that's inside of the game, just like us right now. Okay. Let's just say that a higher species or a higher intelligence already accomplished this.
So like God and Jesus are like fucking playing the sticks right now. Like,
Exactly.
okay.
Something like that. Not necessity. I came up to the conclusion where I think that we're more of a consciousness, right? So when we die from here, we go back to consciousness or God or wherever. And I think it's a not just one entity, it's a whole, like it's conscious, and conscious breaks off. And the only way to have experiences is to go inside of these simulations, these ancestor simulations,
You're talking
where we
about
get
like
to
the
actually
Matrix.
feel
like
sort of,
just a
yes,
bunch
just
of
like
numbers,
the Matrix, actually.
like a bunch of numbers,
Yes,
zeros,
and that's
ones.
what your scientist, the black scientist that I'm talking about, he actually said they have broke down the fabric of space, and on the inside of in the fabric of space itself, they found bits and pieces of computer code, zeros and ones.
Binary code.
That's the reason why they call it a digital. Yeah, binary code. That's the reason why they call it a digital world. We're in the digital world, and we're not in base reality. So I'm thinking like we could also be inside simulations inside of a simulation inside of a simulation. So when we die from here, we can actually wake up in, another simulation itself, because that simulation has evolved to the point to where it created its own simulations. Now we're inside of that simulation, and we're getting to the stage here in a 50 to 100 years where we're going to be certain ourselves inside of real simulation games, and
just
it can keep trickling on
automatically
down. So maybe that's the reason I always thought this way too, is because of the 12 dimensions. Okay, maybe we're 12 dimensions in, or we're in the third dimension. So maybe the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensions are different simulations that we've already came through or went through. I mean, it gets crazy if you really think of it like that. It's kind of like the
that
game
is
or the
kind of
movie.
crazy.
What's that movie that Leonardo, I want to say Leonardo DiCaprio played in? It was
Inception.
Yeah, with the dreams and shit. Remember how they were inside of the dreams, inside of the dreams,
and it like flips upside down.
There's another movie called I want to say the 13th Floor. I can't remember the actor's name that played in it, but that is a good reference to what I'm actually talking about right now. They actually made that movie before the simulation theory came out and exploded on YouTube. But that's also a good movie, and it basically tells that, because when he dies, he wakes up in his base reality.
Right.
And it's a wicked movie. If y'all haven't seen it, I recommend it.
That's crazy. That would be crazy if that was the case. So like if there's 12 dimensions, that's like 12 levels. You gotta, so like when you die, it's like you skip to the next level or you go a level up. So when you're done, maybe when you're done with all these levels, you get
see,
to
this
where,
is the thing.
like,
this is where, well, this is the thing. No, you go back to source reality, or consciousness, basically. I believe that there's only one huge conscious thing or being or whatever you want to call it, God Almighty, and we're basically pieces of that conscious that has inserted into these games, so we can actually have a physical experience, such as love and everything else. Because when we die, we just go back to the source. Just like I don't know, it's crazy, man. It's like what I'm thinking.
I'm trying to understand.
Really
trying to understand, because you go back to the source of what? Of like what? We're just numbers?
Consciousness.
Like energy?
Consciousness. Energy. We're just energy. Just energy. Like energy. Energy is consciousness.
Okay.
That's what it is. Okay. And that's the source of everything. But we insert inside of these games and have an actual physical.
So do you think that
we live here, and that
consciousness has a choice? Do we choose to go into games or to go back to the source, as you call it, or what? I mean, like, do you get to choose, you think, or like?
I think it's just a cycle, because there's nothing else to do when you're a part of the whole conscious as one. There's really nothing else. You can't really experience anything because you already feel the whole universe. You're a part of this conscious. You can't experience anything. So the only way to experience is to go into and the conscious, like the energy, breaks off of the main source, basically God or whatever. Breaks away.
Sounds like that sounds like a badass mushroom trip is what it sounds like. Or maybe a DMT trip. I've seen people,
a lot of people
talk about the DMT
have explained stuff like that.
Yeah, that they feel like a molecule. I watched a Joe Rogan Experience podcast where he talked about one of his experiences on DMT where he felt like he was just a molecule. The best way he could say it was he was a molecule in this vast universe of setup, and like he couldn't explain what
He
or
was a
how
part
he
of it.
was.
He was
Just
yeah.
but he said he had also dropped all of his ego out of everything, so like he didn't have it. He said he didn't feel significant at all, like he didn't feel like he made a difference of anything, that he was just basically a link in a chain, is like kind of how you put it. But
Exactly.
but to hear that though, and then kind of hear what you're talking about, it almost sounds along the same lines, like if you just go back to being a molecule. So when you take these really profound trips and stuff, especially with DMT, because DMT is a natural chemical that's produced in the brain, and I guess it's attributed to when people say when you die or have had near death experiences like that chemical DMT is what happens in the brain, and that may be what you're like the life flashed before my eyes when I got into that car wreck. You know, you hear that a lot. Like, I just seen the life flash before my eyes, everything from the time I was a baby to now, like in a split second. And you just seen it all very clear and very vivid memories. And that could be the DMT. And you actually going back to this source that you're talking about, like this source of consciousness of molecules or atoms or whatever the hell makes up this energy. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a trip to
See,
to
and
hear you
it's
say about
like, and it's crazy how they say it's a digital world, you know, and I feel like with those people who were describing their DMT trips, they all had one thing in common, that they felt like the world that we're in right now wasn't the real world. It wasn't as real as the world they were in when they were in these in these
yeah,
trips.
in these trips,
So,
yeah.
you know, that brings it back, like this simulation theory can also almost go in with certain things in the Bible, as far as how the people used to live longer lives, okay? And then how it says that 1,000 years on earth equals 1 day in heaven, all right? Well,
Right.
when you're inside, say we go into a simulation in this reality that we're in right now, and say we were capable of going inside these games, well, we would be able to go inside the game and live 60, 70, 100, 200, 300 years inside of the simulation. But once we died and came back to our reality, it's only been like 5 hours. You feel what I'm saying? So we can keep going back in. We can keep going back into these and having multiple experience lives. We can live, and that's where it also ties into reincarnation as well. Why people feel like they've been reincarnated, because when they die, as soon as they die, they come right back into the game, you know?
That's crazy. Yeah.
But
didn't we watch something like that? Sarah Love, didn't we watch something like that on the movie, the Bill Maher movie, The Religious List? Or Religious? Yeah, I think what it was called. Wasn't it
damn,
something
man, she
like
cooking your bread, y'all going to the movies together and shit? What is something I don't know? What y'all got going on here?
We have fun. But yeah, it was kind of, there was something like that in the movie that we watched, the Religious movie, that was kind of talking about that whole thing too. And dang it, what was it? I totally lost track. I totally lost track of what we were just talking about, but you threw me off there with that whole comment.
But anyway, accusatory comment.
Right. Keep your comments to yourself.
Man, I'm putting facts and facts together. That's all it is, man. I'm just putting two and two together.
But yeah, you're right though. Like, I mean, people, when they have these like near-death experiences and they go into these like different dimensions and realms, they see things that are real profound, real, you know, to them it seems super real, but like when they're telling us, we're just like, oh man, you know, you like, you know, maybe you were close to seeing God, or maybe you know, it might have been your brain freaking out from the trauma, but we don't see it as a reality the way they see it, you know, when it's happened to them, and it's so much more real and profound for them. So makes you wonder, is this like, could we be living in a simulation? Is that where we go when, like when you said we die or something like that, we just pop out into another simulation, or like pressing pause on one and coming back to it the next day, like, you know,
I mean, just think about it though. It kind of makes sense, because what would be the whole purpose of living a life and you only get one of them, and that's it? And then what happens after that? You go and worship some guy in a robe for all eternity, or you go and burn in some lake of fire all eternity. I just don't see that. I see that as a waste of even existing, really, if that was it and that's all it ever was. I believe they put the Bible, inserted it into the simulation to kind of give a guidance of life and how to try to live life the right way, because inside this is a game, man. And guess what it is? We're always having to collect money. And every game that you see that these kids play, it's always about collecting a coin or collecting some money to do this, to get life back. That's what we have to do in the game of life. This is called the game of life that we're playing right now. And we're having an experience. That's what it is. And I believe that's what life is.
We are
and
the sim.
We are the sim. We are the avatar. These bodies and everything is our avatars. And somehow our soul inserts into these avatars, and we have to grow. And I mean, it's crazy. And if you really think about simulation theory, the reason I feel like
okay,
the reason
so
why
then why
on,
okay, so how do you connect human connection to that? Because we have human connections, right? Like a mother and a child, you know, when a mother has a child,
that's because of the rules that were written. Anything that happens in this reality is because
why do we expect to
it's
see our loved ones when we pass away? Then if that's the case, then that means we shouldn't be able to just think about this simulation, right? Like if I'm in this simulation, I'm living this simulation right now, and say my mother recently passed away a couple years back. So like say when she passed away, like how, like, and I expect that when I pass away, my mom will be there to accept me and bring me into the other. So like if that's the case, then how is that consciousness that you are, that the consciousness that inserts itself into the simulations, how does that know that I in this simulation was your son, and I got to come back for you and show you the ropes? Like how does that, like, because
something like that, I wouldn't,
she didn't have me in the source, you know what I mean, in the binary source. She didn't birth me in there. She birthed me in this simulation.
Inside the simulation. Exactly.
Why would she ever want to come back to this simulation and come get me, or you know?
Well, if she was to come back into this simulation, she would come back into a different body that would have no memory of anything about you.
I meant like coming back like as a ghost, like
but you talking about spirit, as a spirit or something,
spirit or an angel,
that,
or
see, you know, that on the other hand, that is one of the things that makes simulation theory kind of like, because then you're getting into these other realms of, what about ghosts? What about these spirits and everything that we see?
Well,
how does that fall into simulation theory?
It just trips me out, like, because if that's the case, I'm thinking of like all the video games that I play, you know. So if I'm in a video game and let's say I'm playing,
well, we've all played SimCity,
right? We've all played SimCity.
Think about it.
So let's say if I'm playing SimCity right now on my computer or my gaming system, then, and I have a relationship, I go and, you know, meet the little girl and we want to build the house, and you know, you play the little simulation the way it's supposed to be played. Now, as the woman in that simulation, she, like, let's say, okay, we get together, we do the kissy thing, they make the little noise like and then all of a sudden a little baby pops up, right? So that's, and technically in that video game, that's them having the baby. So why would me playing this video game and I knowing that, oh, my little sim just had a baby, okay, but then in the game, if for some reason in the game, like the house fucking crumbles, or, you know, I fuck something up and the house breaks, and like, okay, so the baby doesn't exist anymore. Like, you know, if you died and left that simulation, me as the game player, like how I'm not, I didn't birth that baby, you know, that's just a game. So why, what I'm saying is, how do you connect, like when people talk about when they had a near death experience, that they see family members, like their mother or their grandfather or a brother or a sister that's already dead comes back to get them. Why we
Well,
feel
it could be stuck in the, it's just like a computer, man. When you delete a file on a computer, it doesn't mean that it's permanently deleted from your computer. It's still in your computer. You can delete something and empty your trash, but
right,
that file somewhere still exists in some wherever in your
in the
computer. That's
computer.
how, yeah, that's how FBI members and CIA can actually break down a computer and still get information off your computer even after you delete it. Same way with the computer that we're in. We are inside of a computer. It works the same way, but on a much way more advanced level that we couldn't even fucking comprehend right now.
Yeah,
You know? So
that's
I mean,
crazy. That's
there's
true.
obviously a lot of questions I wouldn't be able to answer because I'm not on the outside of this simulation. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that could be where you go into the fourth and the fifth dimension.
That'd be crazy to see.
I don't know. I mean,
I
it's just
mean,
it's weird, but it's a thought and it makes you think. You know what I'm
see,
saying? It
because
makes you
I think like, okay,
what
so
if it
like
is like
kind
that?
of going back to what I was talking about and how you're talking about, like, so like what I would think then in my theory of this, and I guess in my questioning of this would be like, so if my mom passed away, to me, I feel like her consciousness, her energy is gone. She's like the person that just got up and got done playing the video game and set the controller down and then walked away and got about her day, right? That's the energy, the consciousness that played the
But see,
simulation.
but yeah, but when you're dying, before you get to the light or whatever, before you go through the light, you're seeing the remnants of the people that were in the simulation. But once you exit the light, you're out of the simulation. You feel me? And then you
Yeah.
probably wake up in base reality or another simulation.
Or,
And base reality would be analog. And that's the reason why analog music is much better than digital music. Just like how those DMT trippers were saying that that world felt more realer than the world that we're actually in. That's because we're inside of a digital game. And
that's
it's not
crazy.
the actual analog world.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think we're in a simulation? Do you think someone's playing us right now? Are you being played? If you are, I'd go call the catfish dude or something. No.
Are you being played? You might want the best players.
Drop
Right?
a comment. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about simulation theory. If that's a conspiracy, you can get on board.
And it's crazy, man. And that really brings into like let's talk about you know, entities and ghosts and ghouls and demonic beings and stuff. I got a
Right.
great story about some a little experience about something I heard, and this goes back to maybe the reptilian thing or alien thing or some type of demon. But I'll tell you the story real quick. I was in Glenwood, Iowa, back when I was like, oh man, I want to say 19.
I remember this.
18, 19 around there. Yeah, 18, 19 years old. I'm at this. I had moved out of Mike's mom's basement and
You were
moved in
living
with
with
this
someone.
girl.
Yeah, you were living with someone at the time.
But we was at this girl's house, and this girl had a sister that was staying there. And it was a real creepy house, kind of, man. It was out in the middle of nowhere. The address was 56665, which is crazy too.
You remember
Had
that?
me all crazy.
That's the address, the actual
Yeah, I
address?
remember that. Yes, 5665. That was the number of the address to the house. So
That's only two
anyways,
sixes. 5665.
no, five. It was 3 6s. It was 2 5s and 3 6s. The 6s were together in the middle, in between the 5s. 56665. Yeah, yeah, it's creepy. But
I remember
anyways.
visiting that place. Hold on, real quick. I do remember visiting that place. It was out in the country, and it was like an old, like farmhouse or something. And yeah, it did have a
old
certain,
crazy
have a
house.
certain creep to it. I remember that.
Man,
Damn, that was
creepy to
the
the
address?
motherfucker. I ain't
didn't
gonna
know
lie.
that. That's weird. I didn't know.
Yeah, you never knew that? It was the address.
No.
But anyway, so I stayed there with this girl I was kind of fooling with at the time. And she had a sister that lived there that had a boyfriend that was actually, he was there all the time. His name was Jason Lick Me, I think. You remember Jason Lick Me?
Lickney is his name, I think.
Lick. We used to call him Jason Lick Me.
I do remember that. Jason. He's
But
actually
anyways,
one of my
all right, so-
Facebook friends. Shout out to Jason.
Is he?
You guys see
Yeah.
this?
What up, Jason?
What up,
Hey,
Victory,
if you see him, he'll verify the story.
Hey,
to this day, it was me and him.
I talk to him all the time on Facebook.
Yeah, it was late at night. It was about, I want to say maybe 12, 1 o'clock going on into early morning. And I think I had just got off work or something and around 10 and wasn't drinking. You know, I smoke weed. I can't remember if he smoked weed or not. I think it was just me, but either way, the girls were asleep. Like his girl was asleep. The girl I was messing with was asleep. Everybody in the house was asleep but me and him, and we was watching this knife collector show on TV. I can't remember if he smoked weed. I don't think he did, but I know I hit the weed. It wasn't laced with nothing. But all of a sudden, there was two guys on the TV on this knife collector show, and it was like they just start laughing at me and Jason. We were sitting on the couch in front of the TV. The way it came, like the feeling came around the room, I want to say, like it was all over you. And they said, I couldn't get it out, the first words, but they said something about something demon.
Do you think this is the first time this has ever happened?
And they were laughing at us to the point where we both curled up into a ball, slid on the floor, and it made you feel like you were nothing, like you did not even exist. Whatever that came out that TV, we woke everybody up in the house. We grabbed the Bibles. We start reading the fucking Bible. Like, it was some serious shit, man. We both heard it. We both felt it. Like, seriously, we woke up, like, there was 4 other people in the house sleeping. We woke them all up. It was like, yo, there's some demonic shit coming out the TV. Like, the dudes were laughing at us, man. They were, like, literally laughing at us through the TV. And it made you feel like you just didn't even exist, bro. And that is the worst feeling I've ever felt in my entire life, man. I've never felt it again. I've never seen it or heard some shit like that again in my life. But it did come out that motherfucking TV screen. And to this day, I will not watch a knife collector show.
Really?
To this day.
Yeah.
Them infomercial knife collector shows on TV.
What time was it? Did you have enough sleep? Maybe you were sleep deprived. Because those type of shows come on like super late at night.
Yeah, if that's what I was saying. It was like 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, man. We were young then. We wasn't fucking sleeping at 3 in the morning.
3 o'clock
2 in the morning.
3 in the morning is witching hour too.
But listen to me. I'm not the only one that witnessed it though. Jason Lick Me also witnessed it, and he wasn't smoking no damn weed. And that dude didn't do shit. He didn't drink. He didn't do anything. You know who he was.
Right.
The power of persuasion.
What's that, Sarah?
It was the power of persuasion. It freaked you out to your core because you were high as hell and it's late at night and your brain is
how you get too
and you're freaked out, so you're freaking him out, so now y'all both are freaked out.
So he gonna curl up in a ball too? No, if it was that way, if he didn't hear it, listen, if he didn't hear it, especially if I didn't hear no shit like that, I'd be like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? I would be standing up over him like, why are you on the floor balled up and shit like a little bitch? Yes! That's what I would say. But we both were on the floor balled up like little bitches because we were terrified of what the sound or whatever, the way that the I don't know, dude. They were making us feel fucking like they were watching us through the TV, man.
So like the dudes,
I ain't never smoked no damn weed in my life that ever made me fucking see shit and trip out. And I don't smoke lace shit, and that shit wasn't laced. So I mean,
I think it was just
I wasn't drinking.
Body was tired, and it was
no. Let's call Jason Lick Me right now. Get him on the line. Get Jason Lick Me on the damn show. We're gonna have him on the show next conspiracy time. We're gonna get this. He's gonna tell you the same shit. There ain't no way that both of us.
We could probably work that out. Actually, we could probably work that out.
Yeah, we need to get him on the show just so I could tell y'all that's real, man.
So okay, so what the guys that were selling you the knives, did they like you were?
They weren't selling me the knives, man. They were on the TV. It was just like we were flipping through the fucking channels.
Right.
All right, it's late at night. You got a bunch of infomercial. Right? Yeah, you got a bunch of infomercials. So it landed on a knife show. I ain't even turned it on that station. He did. Okay. I wasn't even planning on sitting there for a long time. I was just gonna smoke the weed and then I was gonna go in the room.
Right.
But that shit had happened.
Did these guys did their voices change or
dude, they were looking at it like it was like they were live through the TV. Like they were sitting there looking at us, laughing at us. And it just, as soon as they start laughing, dude, it just, this weird feeling came over me. And then they say, I couldn't make out what it said. It says something demon. Do you think this is the first time this has ever happened? I remember that clearly. Right there at the end. Do you think this is the first time this has ever happened?
They were like having technical difficulties in like the filming of the show or something, and they like looked at the camera and the cameraman, and they were like, "Do you think this is the first time this has ever happened?" And like somebody off camera was like,
hey,
I don't know, man. This is my first
That's
day.
a good
So
way
I
to think
started,
about
like,
it. I guess anything's possible.
No,
right? If anything is possible.
I'm telling you, it's the feeling that came over me, man. It was like evil. It was death. It surrounded the whole room. That's what made us curl up in the ball, bro.
You didn't even watch another knife show after that. Like, I mean, that's pretty.
Never, dude. I would if I'm clicking through the TV and I see an infomercial, it don't matter what it is. I just don't even watch infomercials no more because that shit really freaked me out. Like I ain't the one to get freaked out over a lot of shit, but that shit scared the fuck out of me, bro. Like the way it made me feel.
Celine Dion and
like what? No, what you were talking about though, about the simulation theory, where dude becoming a molecule, feeling like he felt like a molecule and didn't exist or had no purpose. Right. That's what that made me feel like. Like my existence had no fucking purpose at all, dude. Like it's the most horrible feeling you can ever fucking feel. To feel like that.
Either
like,
you had some really
no
fucking crazy weed, or
this
shit went down. We need to get Lichty. We need to get Lichty on the line and confirm this story because I'm curious. I remember you telling me this, and I remember visiting that house a couple of times. It was kind of creepy. I never knew about the address.
I'm telling you, man.
With this 566.
It was 566. Ask anybody, hit them up on Facebook, all them old Glenwood heads, and they'll tell you that address to that house. Really? That shit was 56665. 3 motherfucking sixes in between 2 5s.
That's crazy. So do you think that has something to do with, you said demonic
either some type of demonic spirit, or maybe it was the reptilians or grays or something coming through. I don't fucking know. It was something though. And the reason why I say maybe it could have been aliens because they're talking about you, or it could go back to the simulation theory. You think this is the first time this has ever happened, man? No. After the simulation gets to a certain level, it has to reboot itself, and then it starts all over again, and we insert back into the game and play the fucking game all over again, man. So no, this is not the first time this shit has ever happened.
Like beating the game or whatever.
Well, when we kill ourselves off, man. Eventually, Armageddon, bro. We kill ourselves, and that's the end of the fucking civilization, and it reboots itself. We start all over back in the Stone Age days, and history fucking repeats itself over and over.
Do you think this is the first time this has ever happened?
Look at him. He's serious, you guys.
I'm serious, man. I'm fucking serious.
Revelation Rob in the house today, guys.
Back at it. Trust no one. Trust number one. However the fuck you want to see it.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. That's a good story.
It's true though. Jason, like I said, Jason licked me. Maybe we'll put a link to his Facebook or something. You guys can hit him up and ask him about that story. He'll tell you the same shit.
You don't want all these crazy people hitting him up. He's gonna be like, I don't know. Watch him come out and say something like, "Oh yeah, I put a little bit of liquid acid on Rob's blunt that night, and I never told him."
Motherfucker, you never told me that shit.
He's like, I missed all them infomercials for the past 20 years. Oh god, that's a good one. You know which one I always thought was a crazy conspiracy theory, man, was the moon landing. That one, that's the only one I think that I could truly say I kind of have a question in the back of my head. Because
why is that?
Because there's a couple different things, and it's a lot of mainstream stuff, you know, like
I just want to put it out there for the record that the shit was fake and it was filmed. And they already debunked that shit. It's all over the place, y'all. If y'all don't know by now that shit was fake. It's fake.
But that
NASA actually came out, man. No, NASA actually came out like a couple of months ago and kind of contradicted themselves, fucked themselves up and said, oh, we lost the technology to go back to the moon because they haven't been back since the 70s, I think. But they said we've lost the technology to go back to the moon. And they said, even if we do get the technology back, that our astronauts can't survive because there's this thing called the Van Halen belt in between Earth and the moon. Right. So everybody started asking on these forums and stuff.
It's like
how the hell did you guys get there?
Lower and upper atmosphere, right? Because there's
well, like no, the Van Halen belt is a radiation belt in between that separate. It's in between the Earth and the moon. So NASA is claiming now that they can't go back to the moon because they can't send the astronauts through the Van Allen belt, the radiation belt, because it would kill them even with the suit on. Okay. So how in the fuck did they do it in the 60s? They just blew themselves up with that, man. And to be honest, they can't even go into space, man. All that spacewalking shit is all done underwater.
But you know what trips me out is we can live watch Google Earth, and you can actually see all the
that shit is
junk.
not live, bro. It's CGI, man. That shit is all CGI, bro. They do not to this day have a real footage of the Earth. All they got to do is take their little satellites. Yeah, look, they could take their little how come they can't just take their little satellites they have out there, turn it around and take a real picture of the Earth? If you listen to me, if you go Google just image of the Earth and look at all the year, because they come out with a new image of the Earth every year, it all looks different. Sometimes the United States is bigger than this continent, or it's the next year it's smaller than this continent. It's like you could tell they're all CGI, man.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think the way the satellites and the imagery works on those satellites is that, so as the satellite is making its revolution around the Earth, it scans a little bit of from the top to the bottom. And as it goes around, it's scanning and it scans and it scans and it scans. And then it composites, it puts together a picture, which creates the image that we see. So it's a bunch of images, really. When you think about an image from Google Earth, it's actually images over the course of many months or possibly a year that these pictures are being taken. So of course things are going to look differently.
Dude, they photoshopped one of the pictures. They put it into Photoshop and actually showed how NASA photoshopped the first picture of the moon, especially the one where they're showing the moon, or they're showing that the astronauts were on the moon and looking back at the Earth and took a picture of it. They show how they photoshopped it, and there's still a square image of what you right where the circle is, where the moon is. Dude, they faked all that shit, bro. I'm trying to tell you, the dude that made the moon landing footage came out and said it was fake.
Really?
Neil Armstrong, all them dudes cannot and will not speak about it. They know it was fucking fake. They got plenty of YouTubers out there chasing these guys down and getting punched by who was it? Neil Armstrong and who was the other ones?
Like the actual astronaut punch?
Yeah, they punched one of them. I can't. What's the dude's name? Lou something, right? It was like Lou and
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin. You had
that dude.
Neil Armstrong.
He was sitting there punching people and shit because they were harassing them and asking them questions about the moon landing, and he wouldn't tell them anything. But they all know it's fake, man. It's fake.
Well, see what makes me question it now in more recent times is that because of all the space trash and things, that we can see in these images around the Earth. It's like, how are you gonna like shoot a rocket and get through that anyway? Like all that junk. There's so much around us, for one. Two,
actually there's not, dude.
But two,
there's not, because every image every image that NASA does give us of the Earth that's taken from space doesn't show any fucking debris, any satellites around it, or any damn thing, man.
How about
it's all fake. They can't even go into space, bro. They can go up high, but there is a dome. There is a dome above us. They can't go anywhere beyond the fucking dome. I'm trying to tell you. There is a dome,
I don't know,
above us. We can save that for another episode, though.
Telescope.
Yeah, you can see the space station with
See
the
what?
naked eye. You can see the space station float
Everything.
by.
You can see planets, stars, space junk, the moon.
You can see it all with the naked eye. Honestly, I look at
Okay,
what is it, Venus? Almost every night I can see Venus, or yeah,
the
it's Venus, Mars,
dome is
one of the two.
clear though, guys.
It's okay. So
Still
if a
see
dome is
satellites.
clear,
How do you
can still see
explain
things.
GPS?
Towers.
Towers
Oh,
only
that's
go.
Why you think
possible.
if there's so many damn satellites up there, and what the hell do we need all these damn 5G towers and 4G towers for, right? If we have satellites.
Because satellite phones are
They
shitty.
transmit. They're like the middleman, right? The towers on Earth are like the middleman. So like they go from satellite to tower to
Phone cell service doesn't bounce off of satellites in space. Cell service is based off of towers, but GPS specifically
Could be done
is-
by towers too.
is no, because towers only go so far.
No, you can triangulate someone's position with tower GPS.
But you can do it a lot easier from space, and that's why they're doing it.
Yeah. But what gets me about,
I mean, they might have a couple of them. I don't believe they have thousands of them, because for the simple fact that every picture you see, you don't see any space junk at all. You don't see shit up there. So that's because the pictures are fake and Earth is not round.
okay,
like a
they
fucking
do. Okay, so in
basketball.
that sense, you're right. They do clean up the pictures because you're right. Like you would see all that space.
Dude, it doesn't matter. I just want to see a real motherfucking video footage of them going out into space and then just turning around and taking a regular video camera and show me some footage. That's what I want. I don't want nothing cleaned up. I don't want nothing CGI'd. Just show us the real footage. Real motherfucking footage. Matter of fact,
Well-
let Mike V take his ass up into space and go get me some real footage.
And why you gotta let me go, bro?
Because I ain't going up there. That's why. I'm a motherfucking scared cat of heights and shit. I'm not going.
Bro, this dude wants to send
You'd
me.
be perfect. Perfect to send your ass up there so you can see
Dude, you're
that the
crazy.
Earth is flat, that there's a
Oh,
dome.
I knew it was coming. There it is, right there, you guys.
We're
There
gonna
it is.
save that for episode 20 though.
Anyway, so see that was one of the things that got me about the moon, though, was because I saw a picture that they had produced of so like in a photo, in these high-tech cameras, in a photo you have like these measurement. It's like you remember when you used to go to the 1 hour photo booth where they would like develop your film in like an hour, and then like on some of the pictures, if you look on the back, there's these little plus signs, like these little black like plus signs, and basically what they do is they measure out the picture, they measure distance and stuff like that in your pictures, right? But what got me about the moon was they had a picture of an astronaut, and the whole thing was the picture except for a little corner of the astronaut's leg, and in the white suit you can see one piece of like about this much of the plus sign, very little bit popping in the top and the left like thing from the plus sign, the measurement things or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what they're called. But what trips you out about that is that if you're actually taking a picture of an actual image, those measurements won't show in the front. You know what I mean? They won't show in the front of the picture. They show in the back, or they're placed in the back of the picture so that you can see and how you want to take your film. And then when you take your snapshot, those little plus signs don't show up because you got the image that you're taking the picture of is covering it. So how did that little plus sign get on the front side of that astronaut's suit, unless it was photoshopped and put into there, and then they forgot to brush out that little plus sign? So
well, they do that, and they've actually proven and debunked one of their photos, one of their Google Earth image photos, where they photoshopped the clouds in. Like the clouds weren't. I don't know how they did it, but the guys they
that was kind of like
they
what I was
Photoshop
saying.
everything, and everything they do. I'm telling you, even the Hubble is flown around in a 747 jet, and they take pictures that way. There's no Hubble telescope out in space. Everything that they do is done in the water, and you can see bubbles coming out the astronaut suit when they're doing alleged spacewalks. There's tons of videos on YouTube showing that shit. Y'all can go check it out.
Right.
I mean, the information's
I
there,
have
the
seen
footage
it.
is there.
I've seen a
How the
lot.
hell do you get bubbles? How do you get air bubbles in space when space is a vacuum? And speaking about space being a vacuum, there was a documentary done in, I want to say, the late 40s or maybe early 40s. But the guy, they put him in a vacuum seal with a spacesuit on.
Okay.
And they had to shut it off and go in there and rescue his ass, because even with the spacesuit on in a vacuum that sucks out all the oxygen, it will boil your blood. It will he said he felt the water start boiling on his tongue before he fell back and passed out. Right. And he had a pressurized spacesuit on. So you cannot even go up into outer space.
Was the suit like sucked into him, like the way you use a vacuum sealer?
Yeah. Like everything starts sucking in with, and his mouth start bubbling and boiling. And then he can start feeling the liquid in his fucking body start to tingle and do the same shit. And they had to cut it off and get him out of there. So that right
putting
there
yourself into a gigantic hickey machine, bro.
If space is a vacuum, you're not sending nothing up there, dude.
Well,
anything can survive in a vacuum.
And
so
that brings
space,
me to
they only told people that because they don't want people doing their own expeditions out into space.
And that brings me to the next thing that kind of made me question about the moon landing was, if space is a vacuum, how did they get the ripples and the flight on the flag? And the flag is pointing fly.
Exactly.
You know, they feel like
because it was shot on Earth, man.
There's
not moving at all.
They also took a section of the Mojave Desert horizon line, and there's like a horizon, and then they took a picture of, what was it, the space drive, I guess, where they used the little car, and they were driving the little car, and they were driving it around on the moon, and one of the astronauts got a picture of the car kind of coming over this ridge, and there were actual rocks and stuff that they left placed in there, and they overlaid a picture of where they thought the moon landing was filmed and staged out in the Mojave Desert. And they took this horizon picture of the actual desert, and then they took the picture from the astronauts and they overlaid it on top of each other, and the horizons match perfectly. And on top of that, there's boulders in the picture, probably left there because, you know, a boulder is a boulder. It's natural. It's a piece of a mountain that's just protruding out of the sand. So like they left that there. And then those same boulders also line up with the picture. So that's what kind of got me when I saw that stuff, and they were doing that, and they were doing the flag theory and the whole, you know, getting through the space jump and stuff like that. That's what got me, you know, and I started thinking like, dude, this might have been faked. And plus everything that was going on politically, we see what happens during political hot times. You know what I mean? When shit's jumping, and, you know, we were in that space race that whole decade. We were told by JFK that we were going to be at the moon first, that, you know, and everybody was doing everything they can. Russia, you know, was doing their thing. They were all creating rockets. They were all creating satellites. They were all shooting shit up into the air.
Well, you want to know why? The reason why it comes to the question is, why did they lie about it? Why did they, if they faked it, why did they fake it? Why did they lie about it?
I think
I'm gonna tell you why. Because we live on a fucking flat Earth with a dome above it, and they know that, and they know we can't get out this motherfucker.
But why?
So they had to lie about it, because the people would have went crazy if they realized that we can't go to the moon.
Okay, I'm gonna flow with you.
Can't go to the moon. We can't go nowhere else.
I'm gonna flow with you on this one. So if that's the case, then why is the purpose of hiding that from us? Why not just tell us the Earth is flat then?
Because then it brings it to a whole nother ball game, bro. If the Earth is flat and stationary and doesn't move, then people would really know. See, they don't want people. They're trying to get God and the Creator out of the minds. That's why they're trying to destroy the Christians and all religion, basically, really.
But what does the shape of the globe have anything to do with it?
Yeah, that's kind of
Well,
my
it's because
question.
they're lying to us. They're trying to say that we came from the Big Bang Theory and that life is just spreading out and
this
over these
pebble,
millions and
right?
billions of years. Yeah, we're nothing. Basically, they want us to know, or they want us to think that we don't really mean nothing. We're in this big ass universe, and Earth just happened to spontaneously pop out of it, and here comes these creatures called humans. Instead of actually having a creator like God, or if we're
The
living in a
source.
simulation, they know what it is, and they don't want that to be found out. And I believe that the ancients knew back in the olden days what our reality really was. And I think they hidden that from us. And the way to do that was to come up with the, what do they call it? The heliocentric model or some shit is what they call the model now, where the earth is revolving around the sun revolves around the solar system revolves around the galaxy, and we're all just floating through the fucking universe and shit like that. They want us to believe that, because then that means we just came from nothing and it was by chance, and there might not really even be a creator. It just all came from this Big Bang Theory, you know.
Couldn't the creator
And
have created that though? Well, I mean,
I think that they don't want us to find out that we're actually in a simulation either. You know what I'm saying? So they hide the shit. They hide the truth from us.
Right. Well, I mean, I feel like they do hide the truth from us on certain things, but I don't know. That one's hard
Well, I
to
mean,
swallow because we can visibly.
just imagine this. What if they came out today? What if they came out today and just said, "Hey, you actually lived on a stationary, disc shape fishbowl type of foundation that does not move and everything else revolves around us"? What would, if the government came out and just told you the truth about that? What would that do to you? What would that make you think? How would that make you think?
Uh, I don't know. I think it would shock me just as much as anything else that I didn't know. Like if someone said that, as long as it doesn't affect me personally, like what I'm doing here, as far as like taking care of my family and
But
working
how
in a
would that make you feel, though? How would it make you feel to know that you have a dome over you, that there is no way out on the other side of the dome? You're in this dome, in this bowl shape,
I
planet
don't
type.
think it would matter because there's no way for me to get out anyway. Like, how am I physically able? Like right now, it's not like this dome is keeping me from doing anything that I want to do because I have no way of just fucking taking off to space, like, and having that ability. I don't
There
have
is
that
no space.
ability.
Space is water, man. There's water above the dome.
Well, whatever you want to call it,
There is water
I can't
above the
get out of
dome.
here. I can't get out of here. I don't have the ability to get out of here. So I don't think it would change
I'm
because
just
even
wondering
if they
why they
did,
have to lie about it, though.
I don't know. But I'm
why do
saying,
people have
but
to lie about a lot of things?
right. And on top of that, for one, I can, like I was telling you, I could visibly look at planets and see that they're round. So why would Earth be different? I can visibly look up and see the moon, and I can see a little part of Mars at certain parts of the year right next to the moon when it's placed.
How do you know they're actually round, though? You look at it, and
Well,
from a distance, yeah, the light looks round, but if you look at light up close, it might not be round.
If you use
How
a
do you know it's
telescope, you
actually
can
round?
see it closer.
right. We got
Have you seen
telescopes.
Mars through a telescope?
I have not. I mean, judging by all the video and things that we have seen about telescopes, it seems like when you look through the lens anyway, it's still a round planet you're looking at. It's still a
And to be honest, I've seen people do documentaries on YouTube where they actually show what a planet should look like outside of a star, and all these so-called planets look like stars to them. Or the way they did it with the light, the way the light, it's basically looks like light reflecting through water. Okay, that's how they know that there is a dome above us and water above the dome, and these lights are actually shining through the water.
if that's the case, then you think that that's what the Illuminati is? Like they know this information? The
They know
enlightened
this
ones?
information, and they've been keeping it secret for thousands of years.
Hmm. Makes you wonder why, if that's the case. Makes you wonder why, because the Illuminati does kind of tie into that a little bit, because they are the enlightened ones. They know the secrets of the universe, right? So it's a tough one, but I just can't. I don't know, and I cannot. I can't
Hmm.
fall under this dome flat Earth thing, because it is just, that's too wild. That's too wild. I think it's too much. I think, and on top of that, even if they did come out and say that it was flat, I don't think it would affect me personally too much, because as long as it's not affecting my day to day, it does. As long as it doesn't affect my family and my way of life, then I guess the Earth can be whatever it can be. It can be a
I
square. It
want to
could
know
be,
what it would change for Rob. What would it change for
yeah,
you if
because
you if
you're
they came
really
out and
passionate about
admitted
it.
it?
Well, I
So
already know about it, so obviously it's not gonna change shit for me. I just want the truth to be out. That's all. I just want to know what where we're really at, what we're doing here, what the fuck is our purpose here. You know, that's what
Revelation
I
Rob
want to
wants to
know.
know, you guys.
I don't want to be told that I live on a fucking triangle if I don't live on a triangle. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the means or the power or the money to go up in space myself to see the shit, but I do expect our people to, you know, really let us know what's going on, and
Right.
that's all it is for me. You know,
That's
just let us
true.
know the truth.
I I could see that. I wouldn't mind having some truth. I mean, obviously our leaders and things are, they do hide a lot of things from us, but sometimes I wonder, is that for our benefit, or is it for their benefit? I don't really know. It makes
I
you
believe it's
wonder.
more for their
That's where a
benefit.
lot of these conspiracies come from. Why we even have conspiracies, right? Because it makes you wonder, it makes you question, like, what is it? Why would they be lying? Why would they be hiding this? How come we don't know this stuff? So it is crazy. It also actually makes me think about, like, what we got going on with the COVID thing right now. Like, could that possibly be a conspiracy? Because, like, we were talking about, the whole space race thing and politics, and how politics and big events, world events, and um, catastrophic events and things like that seem to go hand in hand almost. And so it seems like, all of a sudden we have this 8 months of unrest right before election, right? The year of the election. Um, COVID started just after the beginning of the year. So it, to me, almost seemed like, okay, so you got, we talked about Illuminati and enlightened ones, the people that know things that we don't know, as the smaller race, or the smaller level of people of information down here, right? So what is it that they know, that maybe they were preparing us to be able to, like, settle us down? Because you see how much unrest there is right now, just because of the politics we have going on, right? The Trump thing, the Biden thing, the race thing, blah, 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 all these things, right? And tensions are super hot right now. So it seems like if we didn't have this COVID thing going on, and people weren't forced to kind of be locked down and kind of, set in place, how much worse would this be? How much worse would this unrest be? Would we be at a civil war at this point? So maybe they created COVID as a, hey, we knew that these two guys that were going to be battling for the presidency was going to create massive unrest, and they need to maybe try out something to calm people down and keep people out of each other's way until this whole thing wraps up. Because at the beginning of all this, we were seeing so many precautions put into place, social distancing, mask wearing, gates and stuff, and almost like corrals, for cattle, like set up to have people ushered in to the store a certain way and then ushered out of the store a certain way. And it seems like as we get closer to the elections and getting closer to finding a definitive answer of who's going to be running this country and the most powerful man in the world for the next 4 years, that it seems like now they're scaling back their precautions and things are starting. Because I feel like once we do get that person in office, then we got to try to kind of pull this COVID thing back a little bit and let people out once once we have a decision, once people are just kind of like forced to deal with the decision, like, hey, this is your president, deal with it, no more fighting, everyone calm the fuck down, and all of a sudden COVID kind of like disappears in that, like, because I saw a lot of those lines that they set up going into stores and coming out of stores have been taken down. So I'm wondering, why is that? Why are they doing that? Especially when you see in some of these top news media outlets where cases seem to be rising. And now we're at 8 million cases and, X amount of deaths and this and that. So why are we scaling back on precaution? That kind of makes me wonder.
Well, that's because they put us on, they put the country on this phase thing. I know they did out here in North Carolina, and we're like sitting at phase 3 right now. And it's like every 3 or 4 weeks or something, they up us a phase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's supposed to be like 9 or 10 phases that we're supposed to reach. But I already knew by the time we even get up to like 9 or 10 that they're going to just reverse it. And the reason why I believe that coronavirus is a hoax or was actually artificially man-made or whatever is because they knew the economy was going to collapse anyway. So they needed something to blame the economy falling and the economy collapsing instead of themselves. They knew that if there wasn't nothing out there that could actually potentially cause damage to the economy, like fast, like the COVID, then they would get blamed for the shit.
But why not just blame it? Why not just blame it on Trump though, and let him go down in history as the worst businessman ever?
No, but look, because they want to do that, but then they also got to think that this shit is not Trump's fault, man. He inherited all this from fucking Obama and everybody else. He inherited this.
I'm saying, given all the bullshit, all the hate that's going on against him, and how him being a president has caused so much controversy. If that's the case, then why not just let this guy come in, right? Because he's supposed to be the best businessman in the world, the billionaire, the self-made billionaire guy that made himself through his business techniques and his sales. And why not let this guy come in and just kind of, take the fall for it?
The COVID helps though. The coronavirus helps, and it's doing a major fucking part where they could blame it on him and the fucking virus. You see what I'm saying?
But
him
COVID
and the pandemic
was worldwide.
Yeah.
That didn't have anything to do with American politics in the
beginning.
It started.
We're talking about a worldwide economic collapse though. When the United States goes down, or if China goes down, or if England goes down, it affects the whole fucking world. It's all linked together. It's a system.
For American politics, though, because it didn't start in America.
Well, they know they need to take out America, and what they want to do is change the currency. They want to go to a digital currency, a new world order, a new world currency, and they have to destroy the old before they can usher in the new. So this has been their plan for like 30 fucking years, since old Bush or Reagan.
What I think is that it would take something like this to bring America down. Like, I think we were too big. We were too big and too powerful. We're kind of down on one knee right now, but like, we were too big and too powerful just to try to hurt our economics here at the home. You have to do something that's going to affect everything worldwide in order for it to affect us as a nation, because we're just too big and fucking strong. So I think I agree with you on that by doing something worldwide was a tactic to take us down, because everybody else is already at this level, right? If everyone's at this level and America's up here, you can fuck everybody up, and they already know how to deal with life at this level,
like a domino effect.
Bam. You bring America down to this level, and look at what's going on. People don't know how to fucking handle themselves. They're freaking out. They're panicking. We live in an age where
because we're not used to that, like a lot of the other countries are. We have,
our youngsters don't know how to do things. They can barely change a fucking tire.
Yeah.
Some of them can't cook. And it's like, when you bring these people from up here and you knock them down to a level down here where the rest of the world has been living, who's it really going to affect?
It's a domino effect. When COVID first hit, what were the countries that first went out? It was like, you know, UK, they start locking everything down first. Israel, UK, all them places start locking down, and then we lock down. That's what's happening again. The UK right now is starting to shut everything back down again. Singapore, all them other countries over there are starting to shut down again.
Right.
Israel. And soon, in a couple of months or a month or two, by election,
Well,
it'll
and
be
you
close
know,
to
and
them probably trying to
Sweden,
shut us down again.
Sweden just didn't give a fuck, bro. They didn't do nothing. They did masks is about all they did, but they didn't social distance. They didn't implement any they didn't
That's
stop
because
their
it's a lie,
concerts.
man. It's a fucking hoax.
And they're fine. Their numbers are just fine. So like
I mean, when you go get tested for the flu, do you have to get that long ass, Mike? Didn't you say you got a COVID test and you had a long ass needle shoved into your brain?
No,
I'm not cool with that.
That one wasn't that. No, this one was. It probably went back about that far. They didn't go
I don't
back
give a
far.
fuck.
It had to
Ain't
go
sticking
back
shit in my
far
damn
enough.
nose like that.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean,
They ain't gotta
that's
do it
what
for the
makes me
flu.
think. That's what makes me think it's like kind of like, like, I wonder. I'm not saying that COVID isn't real. That's a real virus. It's a real killer. This definitely hurts people, but
it's no worse than the flu.
is it
So
as bad
that's
as
the main thing.
it's being made out to be?
And for them to do all this and shut the damn countries down is just ridiculous.
Was it bad enough?
It's because it's set up to take out all these small businesses. They want to collapse the country, man. That's what they're doing with this shit. When they shut us down again and they do all this to these small restaurants, these small businesses, that's who they're taking out. But they're allowing Walmarts to stay open, Amazon to keep selling, shit.
Right. That's why this conspiracy, man. Like, that's why I'm like, what the hell? Because you're right. All of a sudden, we all seen here in the last, the last few weeks or so, maybe the last couple months, Amazon has come out with their own way of like grocery shopping and online delivery services. And Walmart is doing the same exact thing, like basically almost like Amazon's little brother. So you see these two companies, especially these two companies, particularly Walmart and Amazon.
Powerhouses, man. Why everybody else is shut down and broke.
Right. So, and like, seems like, oh, these guys are the ones that are going to be there to rescue you.
Then they can control the product as well.
Right.
They can control
what you
the
can
product.
and can't get.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're setting us up for, man. And then pretty soon your microchip, that's what's going to happen. Everything's all boiled.
I'm going to get my microchip delivered by Amazon. It's going to deliver it for me.
Exactly. And all you got to do is shoot it in your skin, and you'll never be able to get it out.
And the Walmart droid will make sure
man.
I
You're
do it.
You're going to have a chip in you, and you buy and sell through the chip.
Kind of like that little what was it, that scale,
collapse this economy,
that scale that you were talking about, that they're working on, that social media scale in China. They already
started implementing it in China, and they're talking about trying to get it done over here as well. But that's gonna be even fucking crazy.
So like what? So like, as on a rating, you get rated on a scale, and businesses can decide whether or not they want to work with you.
Yep. Even have business with you, even sell you items.
Right.
I mean, they could shut you down just by your social profile. And that's what they want. That's total control, man. That's New World Order shit.
You heard of Neuralink?
I'm pretty sure it sounds familiar.
Elon Musk is working on.
Yeah,
he says,
can't trust that guy either. Man.
He says that he believes that Neuralink is going to be a thing probably within the next 5 to 10 years, and basically that's being able to communicate through your mind, like being able to.
No, Elon Musk wants to hook a computer to your brain, is what he wants to do.
Yeah, that's what it is. Basically, basically what it's going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you. I'm not cool with that either. It's going to allow you to read people, and it's going to allow you to communicate without talking. Like some of the fine-tuned things about it.
You're also going to be able to be controlled. And they're also going to be able to pump thoughts into your brain or whatever they want to do to you.
I don't know, man.
I'm just saying
like
that shit ain't cool.
What they were talking about was like, you'll be able to tell when people are lying, like, because you'll be able to read their thoughts. You'll be able, and this is not just a one-way deal. The way they're marketing it is that this is going to be able to, everybody's going to be able to interface with this like this. Like, you know, I will be able to meet somebody and know if they're deceiving me right off the top. Like, hey man, you know, like I'm thinking about doing this business and I'm looking for a partner.
I mean,
you
but
know, what do you
we
think
need
about
to live
that?
in a world like that though?
Well, I mean, I feel like it wouldn't be a bad thing, but like I could see where it could take a fucking big left turn and it be a horrible idea. But
I just don't. I
I
mean,
guess
just the
you gotta
fact of
trust
hooking
humans to be
computers to
good
your
people.
body. I mean, that can take us into this AI shit, man, where eventually robots are going to take over and actually kill the humans off, and they'll be the, you know, the main on top of the food chain.
I mean,
if you
we're
wanna say,
already
on this
pretty
planet.
much droids. I mean, like how much we live online. Like I was talking in the last episode, how much we live online and post and stuff, and also how you just walk around with the phone all day long. You know, this thing goes off, you guys instantly, everybody's like, boom, what's up? You know, or it's in your hand constantly for whatever reason, like because you like to take pictures, boom. So this is already an extension of us as a human. This is just an
True.
extension that you can put down.
That's the
and set.
beginning. That's
Yeah.
the beginning. It's your microchip. It's your everything that they're trying to do, basically.
Right. They
And
can
you're right,
follow
hooking
you,
us up.
but
Well,
yeah.
even with the chips in your damn your credit cards now. You know, there's a chip in every damn credit card now. Microchip.
So yeah, you're going to be
They
able
can track
to buy and sell like that on Neuralink. It's going to have all your account information. You're going to be able to read people's thoughts, know if they're deceiving you. You're going to be able to answer and communicate with people. So like if I walk past you and I look at you and you look at me and we meet, you know, if our eyes lock into each other, we could actually send messages to each other like, hey, how you doing? Or, you know, like wouldn't that be
That's crazy as hell, man. I'm like, so this girl, if I'm looking at her booty, she gonna be reading my thoughts and shit.
She's gonna
man.
see you talking. She's gonna see you over there, and she's gonna say either
like,
you want some of this,
damn.
bro, or she's gonna say you sick motherfucker.
I'm like, I can't help myself, baby.
He's like, get him away. He's nasty.
Hey, but what the fuck does that have to do with conspiracy theory, Mike?
What's that? It all is,
The
dude.
shit
It's
you was
all a
just talking about.
conspiracy. It's all conspiracy theory, man. Because
Well, that's not really a conspiracy. That Elon Musk wants to do this shit. He's making it happen because he's a fucking born what do you call it? Born with a silver spoon in your mouth
he's
billionaire.
a genius, man. The dude's a genius, bro.
Yeah, he is a genius. He's smart, but it doesn't give him the right to actually fucking be doing shit. Like, how does he get his own space station?
You know, he was the creator.
Fucking program and shit, man. Like,
well, think about it. Do you know he
who
was
is
the
like
creator?
that goes back to Bill Gates. Why does Bill Gates get to tell motherfuckers what type of vaccines and shit? I mean, he was a dude that build Microsoft and shit and created
Money
computers. What gives him the
and
right?
bullshit walks.
Exactly, and that's bullshit. He's not a fucking doctor, so he shouldn't be telling people what type of vaccines and shit they should be taking and what he thinks.
Bill Gates, Bill Gates is another.
But Elon Musk is kind of the same way, man. He's trying to fucking do all this Batman shit, like he's fucking.
He seems like he's trying to actually help humanity.
Bruce Wayne or something.
He seems like he's trying to help humanity, bro. You know the reason why he has his
by
own
putting a computer chip in their brain.
Hey, dude, he's smart. He's a scientist for one. He's.
But Mike.
He got his money from. He was a creator of PayPal.
I don't give a fuck where he got his money from. So you gonna let somebody put a damn computer chip in your brain?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, I guess you just got to see how it all rolls, man. Like, I mean, this is where we're headed.
I understand what he's trying to do, but basically he's trying to turn us into cyborgs. Why? What's wrong with just humans the way we are? Why do we have to become cyborgs?
because we can't go backwards.
We're not cyborgs yet, man.
We can't go backwards.
I understand that
we took the lid off of this technology thing, and we can't go backwards. We are not going to give it up.
But listen to me. We can go backwards because they have the truth. Our ancient truth, dude, where we were able to do anything that we wanted to because of the knowledge that we knew. We didn't have to insert fucking machines and chips and nanotubes and everything in our bodies to get to what we really need to do in life. And maybe there isn't no coming back. Maybe it goes back to the simulation, dude. Maybe there's no exploring space. Maybe we can't get there. Maybe the only way for us to experience and to gain knowledge is to create these ancestor simulations and go into them.
Yeah, either that or we go get some DMT, bro, and try it and see what kind of things we can see.
All right, so that's gonna be one of our episodes where Mike is high as hell off of DMT, and we're gonna explain his experience live right here.
Why does this guy always volunteer?
Mike is the gopher. He is the gopher.
He wants me to try it.
Guinea pig.
Right, he wants me.
Yeah, you're the guinea pig. You know what the hell I meant.
Oh my god,
he's the guinea pig.
Anyway,
of What the Fuck America. So anything y'all want him to try, he will try it. He's our guinea pig.
Comment below. Let me know. I'll tell you straight up if I'll do it or not. I'll do some crazy stuff. I'll be down to do some stuff, but don't make it too crazy. Anyway, this is a crazy show, man. All kinds of conspiracies going on, guys. There's all kinds of stuff. Is it true? Is it not true? We don't know, man. We just trying to live. What the fuck, America? What are the answers out there, man? Is simulation theory true? Are we just living in a big video game? Is there demonic demons out there? Are they really trying to get us? Are they really trying to hold us down and make us feel like shit? Rob seems to think so. Is the moon landing real? Does anybody think about the moon landing and how we even got to space? And are we ever going back? And how that's all going to play out? I don't know, man. It's a lot of good questions, a lot of good conspiracy theories going on out there. Why don't you guys go ahead and check it out, find out, and let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. You guys could check us out at What the Fuck America YouTube. You guys can also check us out on our Facebook page at What the Fuck America Podcast. And then you can also check us out on our Twitter page at What the Fuck America 19 on Twitter. Anyway, we appreciate you guys being here. Keep your thoughts flowing. Keep it rolling. You guys be safe. We love you. Have a good day. Talk to you guys later. Bye.